Franklin Breckenridge devoted himself to the civil rights movement at an early age, attending an NAACP-led protest in his hometown.
Not a sit-in, but a stand-in at the local Kokomo public swimming pool, which was segregated. And the black kids could only go on one day a week. And so we decided to have a stand-in.
Exposure to racial violence and prejudice fueled Franklin's lifelong passion to a cause bigger than himself.
Emmett Till had been lynched down in Mississippi. His body was recovered and brought back to Chicago. And his mother was brave enough to open the casket. And I get very emotional at this. But she made the decision to open the casket and show his terrible beaten up head so that you could see it in a picture to Jet magazine. And I looked at that and I made a vow to myself that I was going to do what I could to eliminate racism and discrimination in the United States of America.
Franklin decided he would fight his good fight within the legal system. At Indiana University, Franklin received his bachelor's in education and met the love of his life.
I was in the Union building and I was going down the escalator and she was going up. The first day or two of summer school, she was beautiful. She said, "Hey, hi there." And I said, "Wow." When I got down to the same level she was, I stopped her and I said, "Well, who are you? And what's your name?" And she said, "Cora Smith. Do you remember me?" I said, "No, I don't."
They had met once before, but Franklin didn't remember. It was a mistake he would never again repeat. Following his time at IU Bloomington, Franklin pursued his law degree at what is now the IU McKinney School of Law, all while teaching elementary school during the day.
I was one of the first Head Start teachers when Indianapolis Preschool Centers was started in 1964.
In 1968, Franklin started his law practice in Kokomo. 2 years later, he was president of the Kokomo branch of the NAACP.
And I led the branch there for those 2 years. In '73, I got an opportunity to become corporate counsel for what was then Miles Laboratories, Inc., which became Bear Corporation. In 1978, I ran for president of the Indiana State NAACP.
And he would remain president of the Indiana NAACP from 1978 to 2003, an unprecedented 25 years.
That was the longest term of anybody who would ever have been in that office. But also during that time is when I started doing most of my civil rights legal work. We filed against the state of Indiana and the state police entity and the governor in the state of Indiana, because at that time there were no black state troopers and there were no female state troopers.
After helping modernize the police force, Franklin took on segregation in Indiana schools.
He was on the cutting edge of advising and directing how our legal department would execute on lawsuits to ensure we had representation, to ensure that the criminal justice system was held accountable. He gave of his time, his talent, and his legal expertise to make society better, to make democracy work.
But his life of service was building to something even greater.
I really didn't get the total significance of it until I accepted the call to preach and become a minister, which happened in 1991.
More recently, Franklin focused his boundless energy to improve the lives of others at his alma mater.
When I started as dean, Franklin wanted to make sure that the McKinney School of Law maintained its tradition of providing access to legal education for those who are underrepresented in the profession, and he wanted to wade in and help himself. Whether that was working with me directly to help recruit strong students to the school, whether it meant meeting with students individually.
And throughout it all, Franklin has had a fantastic partner by his side. In 2012, Cora Smith Breckenridge received the Distinguished Alumni Service Award, making them only the second couple to both receive the award.
Well, I want to congratulate my husband again on receiving the DASA award. He is very deserving. He has given his life in public service, and he is a very happy graduate and also now a distinguished graduate of Indiana University. And we're just really pleased to be able to see him reach this milestone in his life.